Well, so I'm inside the cabin of the new MG Comet, and the big and boxy shape on the outside means that there's a lot of space on the inside of the cabin, and it doesn't feel like claustrophobic place at all. The windows are also nice and large. There's plenty of headroom, and of course you also get this quarter glass window over here, so that gives you a little more light into the cabin. So it feels very nice, very airy, and the materials also are quite good. First class materials all across top of the dashboard, and even these button and switches are made from very good quality of material. So really, it's an excellent place to be in. Seat comfort is quite good, and MG has been very smart. They've used very light colors inside the cabin, so it gives you that little feeling of brightness and airiness inside the cabin, and no issues in terms of space on offer. Yes, of course, it's not a very wide car, so whoever's sitting here, it'll be a bit of a snug fit, but that's quite okay because you'll be traveling with your friends and family in this car, and you don't have to shout to talk to them. You can easily eavesdrop on their conversations because you're sitting so close. But as I said, no issues in terms of the seat comfort, the overall ambience, as well as the airiness inside the cabin. Now you get two big digital screens. One, of course, is for the instrumentation, and there's a lot of attention to detail even in the instrumentation. For example, the car over here right now has the door open on the left side, and this car is showing the door. If you remove your foot off the brake, the lights of this one also, they close, and if you press it, it turns on. So very good attention to detail. Indicator also on the car flashes. So really, MG is taken care of a lot of elements. You of course get these bottle holders where you can keep these small bottles or big bottles over here right in front of the AC vent, and the AC performance is quite good. We're shooting this car in Delhi, and Delhi right now is reporting around 40 degrees, and the AC is really chilling the cabin very well. It's quite a good AC in that sense. This touchscreen has Apple CarPlay and Auto. It's quite good to use, and a lot of connected apps as well. And of course, you get the Geo 7 app as well, and you can move around the widgets like you can on an Android phone inside this car, and that is something which is quite good. Stereo system also is decent, and apart from that, it's a very minimalistic looking dashboard. You only get these switches for the AC and this button over here for the economy, sport, and the normal mode. You can change those modes on this car. No glove box, but you have a big tray where you can keep your cell phone or your wallet, whatever you want. And of course, the top of the dashboard is completely flat. So right now we've kept a cap over here, and we've also kept a box of tissues because that's exactly what you can do over there, because it's completely flat, so it won't roll around like it does on some other cars. So what's my verdict of the interiors of this car? The front seats, I have to say that they've done a fantastic job with the cabin. It really feels nice and posh, and I'll give it a strong score of 10 out of 10. Now let's see how much space there's in the back seat, and if that is a compromise, or generally is this a four-seater. I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts. And the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a large generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog. And the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today. Check out the app. It's available both for iOS as well as Android devices. And also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Well, let's quickly show you how to get in and out of the MG Comet's rest seats. Now, to open the door, of course, you have to use this handle over here, open it like this. And if you see over here, you get this little handle. The aperture is quite wide, so it's a nice and wide aperture, so you can easily get in and out. The door also is quite large if you see it. It's quite a large door, which means that you have plenty of place to step in and out of this cabin. Now, what you can, of course, do is you can press this lever and, of course, pull the seat forward, and goes all the way up, and then you can see again you get a very nice and easy access to this area. Once you step inside, I have some good news, and that good news is that you still get plenty of place over here, because knee room is more than sufficient. My height is 5'10", and I've adjusted the front seat for my height and drawing position. So you know, someone's 5'10", 5'11" at the back, I don't think there's any issue. Headroom also is genuine, so it's not a compromise. A lot of people have been asking me, is the Comet a compromise when it comes to back seat space? No, it's not. You can actually travel with 4 people on board without any fuss whatsoever. Seat comfort also is quite good. You get large rectangular window over here, which means that the cabin again feels nice, bright and airy. And of course, you also get this headrest. So it's fixed, but you of course get a headrest in case you just doze off to sleep. Well, so I think MG's done a fantastic job with the packaging of this car, and I think I should give them a strong score of 9 out of 10. Now let's show you the boot and then drive this car around and tell you how it is to drive. Well, let's really show you the boot of the MG Comet. Now, this is the one area where this car falls slightly behind its rivals. Now, how do you open it? There's a button over here. It's not this badge, but just above this badge on the right side, you press this, it opens up, and as you can see, you've got the cables, the charging cables for the car, and maybe you can keep a couple of bags, school bags maybe, or maybe laptop bags, but that's about it. So if you're traveling to your friends, a couple of laptop bags can squeeze in, but not much. But you can drop the back seat down, the backrest of the back seat down, and you get a nice and flat area because it's a high car in terms of roof line. You can keep a couple of big bags, or maybe if your mother-in-law is coming from the airport and she needs to be transported somewhere, then 2 big or 3 big bags can be hauled in without any fuss. Well, so I'm driving the MG Comet SUV. Well, no, it's not an SUV. It's an EV, but you do get a very SUV-like feel because it's really high. So you do get that, good feeling when you sit inside this car. And as I mentioned before, the quality of the interiors, the cabin quality, the ambience is really very positive, very good. This car also is pretty good to drive, pretty impressive to drive. Now, the first thing that immediately you will notice about this car is the fact that the ride comfort is brilliant. Now, it's a car which has a very compact wheelbase. But even then, this car's ride comfort is very good. We're driving this car on the Delhi Chhatarpur road at the moment. We're going towards Delhi from Gurgaon, and I have to say that the ride is brilliant. What's also brilliant is the visibility. The cabin feels really nice, bright and airy. It doesn't feel like you're driving a very small car or compact car because the glass area all across is very good. And this huge glass here really does allow a lot of light to come in. So what that means is that you never feel claustrophobic inside this car, and that's a very positive thing, and really goes to show you how well this car has been engineered and designed. So that's something where I'll give a double thumbs up to MG. What is also good is the light steering, because this car, remember, is meant for driving inside the city limits, and the light steering really makes a joy of driving in the city. It really does cut out all the, it doesn't feel like you're doing a chore. It really feels like a joyous affair. And what's also good, as I said, is visibility. The rear mirrors are big. This mirror over here is big, and the window areas are also nice and large. Quarter glass window over here, so you get plenty of air and light inside the cabin. Not air, but light inside the cabin, so it makes the cabin feel nice and bright. How is the performance? Well, I have to say the performance is more than sufficient. We're driving this car with 2 people on board, and both of us are 80 plus in terms of the weight, and we also have a couple of big bags which weigh another 20 kilos, and even then the performance is quite good. This car is really effortless to drive. The other good thing is, of course, if you want more performance, more peppiness, you can always choose this button here and press it and choose the sport mode. And in sport mode, everything becomes a little more dynamic. By everything, I mean, of course, the throttle response. It becomes a little more agile, it becomes a little more dynamic, and of course, it just feels a little more livelier to drive than it does in normal mode. So that's something which is there on this car. But of course, normal mode is the right mode to drive this car in, because over there you get the best of everything. You get good acceleration, you get good range, and of course you also get good performance out of this car. Overall though, I'm very impressed with this package. I think MG's done a great job. It's very difficult to find fault. The only thing is that maybe if the boot area was a little bigger, then it would have been an ultimate car. But even then, I think it's a great car and a very solid package for driving within city limits. If you ask someone who travels with your wife and only 2 kids in the back, then this is a great little package, and definitely something that you should keep in your mind. Go to MG dealership and check this car out at their dealership, because this really, as I said, is the next big thing. I think in terms of technology, in terms of features, in terms of just the overall design, this is the new hit thing, and it's something just as cool as your iPhone. So bye for now, and thanks so much for watching this video.